I've gotten to take care of her dog more and take it on walks because that's something she normally does, but I've gotten to do that while she's away, and that's been nice.
My cat, Mimi, brings me great joy. I inherited her about a year ago. I don't know how I got along all these years without a purry furry.
All right.
Hi, I'll share something that I heard in an earlier Unitarian service today.
All right.
What do we call the people we go out to eat with? What? Taste buds.
Taste buds. All right. I think Jeff says we're ready to begin. So, okay, come on. There was one more.
I'm changing the subject entirely. I have hope. I have hope that regardless of what happens in Palestine and Gaza and Israel right now, that there's less people being killed each day, and that there is a possibility that with all of our efforts in the world, that peace can be brought. And I'm going to keep that in my mind. And thank you for all of us being here to share.
Thank you for all the good thoughts. And thank you for helping us vamp to begin the service, but our service is now beginning. Good morning. I'm Steve Ogden, and I am glad to welcome our friends on Zoom and YouTube who have thankfully joined us. We are part of a free religious tradition that honors the loving heart, the open mind, and growing together within the beloved community. As we begin our time together, please remember to keep your cell phones muted if you haven't set them to quiet. If you have announcements, you can give them to Jefferey, wearing the headphones in the back in the AV corner. Our fellowship stands on land that is today called Berkeley, California, located in the unceded territory of the Ohlone people. We envision a Bay Area where the Ohlone language and ceremony are an active part of our cultural landscape. We imagine a place where Ohlone place names and history are known and recognized, and where intertribal indigenous communities have affordable housing, social services, cultural centers, and land to live, work, and pray on. This vision is rooted in the practices of rematriation, cultural revitalization, and land restoration. It is a call to action, a chance for Native and non-Native peoples to come together and heal from the legacies of colonization, genocide, and patriarchy. Together, we can do the work our ancestors and future generations are asking us to do.
The awesome thing that you get when Steve Ogden comes, he creates that for us. Thank you, Steve. Kirsten's about to walk up here, and what we're doing as part of our services, from time to time, we'll hear from some of the friends, members of the congregation. They'll share something for a few minutes, and that way everybody gets to know who's new and what's happening. So Kirsten will be our third person to do this, and thanks so much, Kirsten, for coming up here. Thank you.
Thanks, Jeff. Is this okay? Okay. Good morning, everyone. Hi. It's weird to see everyone from this perspective. So as many of you know, my name is Kirsten, and I joined BFUU earlier this year. And Jeff asked me to say a few words this morning. And he said I had carte blanche to talk about whatever I wanted, which I was like, okay, I'm not going to pass that up. And because I have many topics of choice, that's a blessing and a burden. But I decided to choose the one that felt most relevant, which is, why am I here? Why am I here? Not in the existential sense. That would probably take more than 5 minutes. But just the literal meaning. Why am I here this morning with all of you at BFUU? As with any group or organization, perhaps you as members tend to focus on what could be improved or what you would like to see changed. So I thought it could be nice to hear a newcomer's perspective on some of the things that I think you're doing well. Because in answering my question, why am I here, I think I can speak to a number of ways in which you all are succeeding. At the beginning of this year, due to a major life transition, I was in search of community, specifically a spiritual community, one that made me feel grounded, one that was tied to a physical space, anchored in principles I cared about, and importantly, one that I felt joyful being a part of. And I loved the prompt that we ended up doing because that was unknowingly to you all the perfect segue to this topic I'm speaking on. So as part of this search, I explored different spiritual communities, mostly UU, one Quaker meeting for this process. And they all had something to offer. So it was a bit like the tale of Goldilocks. One UU community, a church, had a really great pulpit and about half a dozen ministers sitting behind it, taking turns speaking at it. And in that space, I felt a call to solemnity, but not necessarily to joy. What I actually felt was a crippling anxiety because of the physical space and how much it recalled my upbringing in the Catholic Church. But that's a separate topic. And the Quakers, or the Friends as they are known, were really great at making silence seem important, which it is. And I appreciated the call to reflection, but I sought a type of meditation that stood on things other than silence. And when I stepped into this room for the first time, it felt like washing my hands clean of every expectation. I could not totally figure out what was going on. It was a little chaotic, but genuine and endearing, and people were dancing and embracing, and there was joy. And not a naive joy. There's certainly a political consciousness here, but one that was adamant about being seen. So thank you, all of you, for providing a source of joy to me over the last year. Thank you for the small acts of welcome you have shared with me each time I am here. And thank you for being a little bit chaotic and genuine and endearing and dancing and embracing and being joyful. Thank you.
Thank you, Kirsten. Our opening words this morning are from our speaker, Jeff Melcher. Jeff holds a Master's of Divinity from the Pacific School of Religion and has directed the preschool through young adult religious education at First Unitarian Church of Oakland for the past 4 years. For the previous 6 years, he held the position of Director of Family Ministries at the Unitarian Universalist Congregation of Marin. So please welcome Jeff Melcher.
Thank you. It's good to be back here. And I'm going to use as opening words something that will be a responsive reading later. I'm sure all of you learned this in school, but you might not have it memorized. I think the First Amendment to the U.S. Constitution is rather important these days. Congress shall make no law respecting an establishment of religion or prohibiting the free exercise thereof. Can I hear an amen? Amen. Or abridge the freedom of speech. Amen. Or of the press. Amen. Or of the right of the people peacefully to assemble and to petition the government for a redress of grievances.
Thank you, Jeffrey, for inspiring opening words. You didn't make those up? No, you didn't. Please, can I get you to light the chalice for us? Please light your candles at home now while Jeff lights this communal chalice for all of us. A symbol of our tradition and the spirit that lives within each of us. Please read the unison chalice lighting, which can be found in the order of service. Let love be the spirit of this congregation and service its goal. This is our living covenant to dwell together in peace, to seek the truths in life, and to help one another. And now we light our red candle. We light our red candle to mourn Black lives taken by police and state violence, to proclaim that Black lives matter, and to express our commitment to Black liberation, reparations, and the end of slave capitalism. The guiding UU principle for this morning's service is the right of conscience and the use of the democratic process within our congregation and society at large. Please join the choir now in singing Meditation on Breathing, hymn number 1009 from the Teal hymnal.
So I'm going to start us off, and I'm going to continue with the opening, which is breathe in, breathe out. And you can, if you feel moved in spirit to stand for this, that's great. If you want to continue sitting, there's also a hand motion. Breathe in, breathe out. It's like Qigong in church. So I'm going to start in, and then they'll break into groups, and there's different parts. And if you know the parts, chime in, and then it'll all come back together and end with breathe in, breathe out. Breathe in, breathe out. Breathe in, breathe out. Breathe.
You're up.
Okay. Doing a responsive reading. We're working with a couple of different versions of the order of service, but the most important part is you're here, that we are here together this morning. Are we doing Lead with Love? I can't. Which one?
This may have been the chaos Kristen was talking about.
Do you want to do this one?
Sure.
Or do this one first?
Let's do this one now.
Okay.
Okay. And now, for our meditation. Easy for me to say. And now for our meditation. In a moment, I will sound a chime to lead us into our time of silent meditation. Please get comfortable. Perhaps put both feet on the floor to ground yourself. Maybe your hands on your knees or in your lap. Close your eyes. Take in a deep breath and follow that breath to your inner stillness. I will sound a chime again at the end of a couple of minutes to end the meditation. Are you going to do the responsive reading now, or are we going to move into joys and sorrows? Okay. The ritual of joys and sorrows is a time for each of us to share what is in our hearts this week and ask for community prayers and support. Each week, we lay out the Joys and Sorrows book, which has been moved over here to this chair. So you can't write in it now because I have it. We invite you to normally find it over there. And today it says, we welcome Jeff Melcher. Great to see you, Jeff. That was from Jeff. This is confusing. And Joanna says, welcome back, Jeff, with you on F. Missed you, and that's from Joanna. And perhaps our friends on Zoom have offered some thoughts, but no, not today. Now is the time when we say aloud the names of anyone we want to send support and loving energy. Eleanor.
Sylvia. Ben.
Kristen.
Angela.
Jane.
People arrested for civil disobedience.
Immigrants.
And perhaps all the federal workers who are wondering if they'll get paid again. And now we move to the silent part of our morning ritual. It is the healing ritual with water and stones. For anything that is in our hearts that is perhaps too sensitive to speak aloud, but that which we wish to bring to the community for prayers and support, we have a symbolic action people can take. They can walk down the center aisle, choose a stone or stones, immerse it or them in water which represents our community. Please find your intention in your heart and come forward. Jameson, for all that we have shared and for all that we will share in our time together as we move forward. May we be grateful. The metta meditation comes to us from the Buddhist tradition of cultivating compassion and loving kindness. The words can be found in the order of service. Will you please join me in singing it? May I be safe, may I be well, may I know joy, may I be free. May you be safe, may you be well, may you know joy, may you be free. May they be safe, may they be well, may they know joy, may they be free. May all be safe, may all be well, may all know joy, may all be free. And now, please join Jeff and the choir in singing hymn number 311 from the Gray hymnal, Let It Be a Dance.
And we're going to pause on that. There's a little story as you're getting that 311. So years ago, when Rick Maston was still alive, he's the one who wrote the words and music, I was up at the Kensington Church, the first church of Kensington, the Berkeley Church, as I was an intern. And Rick came back. He actually had prostate cancer and wrote lots of amazing stories about his journey on that. But he said, you know what? I am so dyslexic. I am so ADHD that I have a very important change in the hymnal. And he told everybody in the congregation to take out their pen and pencil, and you can do this now too. Because where it says on the third line on the third page, share the laughter, bear the pain, he said, I misspelled the word bear, B-E-A-R. He did not intend to us to hide our pain, to bear it unceasingly. He meant B-A-R-E, that we are to share, to open up. B-A-R-E. So if you have a pen or a pencil, change that right now.
Oh, there's a bear.
Some might have been changed, some of it, anyway. So just catching you up to date on that. So when we sing this, we're going to sing the first part, Let It Be a Dance, and then we're going to do the 3 verses, and then we're going to go back to the first page. And I welcome people to get up and move around, maybe practice what you're preaching. Here we go. Let it be a dance we do. May I have this dance with you. Through the good times and the bad times too. Let it be a dance. Let a dancing song be heard. Play the music, say the words. And fill the sky with sailing birds. Let it be a dance, let it be a dance, let it be a dance. Learn to follow, learn to lead. Feel the rhythm, feel the need. To reap the harvest, plant the seed. Let it be a dance. Everybody turn and spin. to where they bend, like a wind, the wind, the wind. Let it be a dance, be a dance, let it be a dance. Learn to follow, learn to lead. Feel the joy and create. Whoops. Take it as it passes by. Thank you. Let it be a dance. Mornings running guard at night. Without the darkness, there is no light. If nothing's wrong, then nothing's right. Let it be a dance. Let it be a dance. Let it be a dance. Let the sunshine, let it rain. Share the laughter, bear the pain. And round we go again. Let it be a dance. Back to page 1. Let it be a dance we do. May I have this dance with you. Through the good times and the bad times too. Let it be a dance. That was fun. Since there are 1,000 Unitarian Universalist congregations across North America, I only have 999 more congregations to tell that story to. So I do want to now do the responsive reading with the First Amendment to the Constitution of the United States of America. And I thought that we might have the words in the order of service. That didn't happen, so I'm just going to repeat it. I'm going to say something, you're going to call it back, call and response, right? Congress shall make no law. Congress shall make no law. Respecting an establishment of religion. Respecting an establishment of religion. Or prohibiting the free exercise thereof. Or prohibiting free exercise thereof. Or abridging the freedom of speech. Or abridging the freedom of speech. Or of the press. Or of the press. Or of the right of the people peaceably to assemble. And to petition the government for a redress of grievances. Thank you. Amen. Just a piece of history. The term press there, I think they're actually talking about the printing press. Like when you had to move something down and press the ink on the paper. But in case the Supreme Court is listening, modern times create new and modern interpretations of the Constitution. So I discovered Unitarian Universalism as an adult in my mid-20s in Roseburg, Oregon, in 1988. In 1996, I followed a relationship to Berkeley and landed here at BFUU because basically, as I was moving down, there was a weekend event, the Unitarian Universalist Young Adult Network, that's the 20s and 30s, was having a conference here, an overnight, all-weekend conference. And it was because of that conference, I met Fran Moulton, who invited me to be a religious education teacher, because they found out that I had been doing that in Roseburg. And then pretty soon I was asked to be on the board, and then I became the vice president, and then half a year later, when the president quit, I was the president. Anybody here been part of that process? Yes. You get involved, you stay involved, you just keep moving deeper and deeper into either the functioning of the congregation or the faith as it is. So I also had been the interim DRE, the interim office manager as well. So I held a lot of different roles here. When I was an RE teacher, I had Phoebe Sorgen's sons in my 2nd and 3rd grade class. This past summer, I was honored and delighted to officiate the wedding of Zachary and his betrothed Gina in a guerrilla wedding in the Berkeley Rose Garden. And even although I've not been coming around here to BFUU very much the past few years, this wedding was a super sweet reminder of my generational connection with this congregation. When I was an interim DRE back years ago, one of my major accomplishments was helping to hire a new Unitarian Universalist minister of religious education. I think she was also a Buddhist nun, or at least an adept. And I can't remember that dear person's name, but I will try to research it. But I remember her part in saving the redwood tree at the front door. Anybody know this story? Ooh, okay. As you see, there was talk of cutting down that tree for safety reasons. The wind might blow it over, it might pull up the foundation. And that cutting down the tree was, as you can guess, very controversial. She told a story about how eco-activists in a Southeast Asian country, and I think it might have been Indonesia, they enlisted Buddhist monks to save a grove of old-growth forests. The monks went out to the forests and ordained the trees as Buddhist monks, wrapping them in saffron robes. So they know their context, they know their community. Because when those Buddhist loggers came the next day, they could not conceive of killing these precious elder entities. So a group of us, including this Buddhist MRE and Abbott Foote and Hal Carlsted and Cynthia Johnson and I and several others, after service we had a ceremony out by the tree. And I actually still have the singing bowl from that ceremony. It's right over there. And we had the ceremony. Now, I don't really remember if we ordained the tree or what we did, but the tree is still there. So I leave it all of you to ponder and discuss whether or not that redwood tree out there is a Buddhist or even possibly a Buddhist nun. That's right. So I'd been active in this community for several years by this time, and I met some really interesting characters, which were quintessential Berkeley lefties. There was Eldred, and he was known to come to service and dance in a pink leotard. I never saw this, but I believe it. What I also remember about him most was his display of freedom of the press and freedom of speech. He had a half sheet of plywood permanently mounted to the roof of his Volvo. Really, so Berkeley. And he would paint his favorite political statement on this sign and drive it around all week while he's doing his errands and having life. So I admired this and said to myself, one day I'm going to have the courage to do that. Well, I haven't mounted the plywood yet, but it's in the trunk of my car. And what I have been doing is taking tempera paint and writing on the side of my white Toyota Corolla. And actually recently it got washed, so there's a new slate. And I have tempera paint and brushes with me today. So those of you who are interested, I'm thinking of maybe writing down our First Amendment rights all over my car. So if anybody's interested, anybody interested in that? A little bit of activity? Nice. And then there was Hal Carlstad, a retired science teacher turned activist to end the death penalty, to save old-growth forests, end nuclear proliferation, etc. He always had a very cheerful, upbeat presence about him, even when getting arrested. I asked him once, Hal, how many times have you been arrested? You know, I stopped counting after 200. You just have to know how to do it right. And then he gave me some pointers. You can ask me later. I did get detained once while protesting with Hal up at the Headwaters Grove. He had me using his car to transport people up to the protest site where we were blocking a logging road. The most successful part of that blockade was a combination of white allies and Native American Indians who were holding a sacred ceremony in the middle of the road to honor their ancestors who had lived on those lands for millennia. Freedom of religion is a powerful thing, especially in the United States, because the sheriff departments, which came from all over, they had to wait. They knew if they interrupted, that was a problem. Well, I was still traveling back and forth with Hal's car, and one of the sheriffs, they stopped me and it's like, so can I see your driver's license and registration? This isn't your car, huh? Why are you here? Please step out of the car and have a seat over there. Well, I was sitting there for 2 hours before he gave me back my license. I could have asked him, am I free to go? Which is the correct legal question if you want to find out if you're being arrested. But the atmosphere was pretty tense with 50 sheriff deputies in riot gear and getting into formation. I decided to wait at the bottom of the hill. Turns out they did actually rush the activists after the religious ceremony was over. They even shoved people to the ground who had press clearly marked on their clothing. One of them got a pinky broken, being pushed into a ditch. That person happened to be a lawyer. He won his case. Freedom of the press is a right that we must protect. There's also one little quick kind of what I call a spiritual story for me at that event. Actually, beforehand, at the big rally, there was 5,000 people. We all got a mass drum lesson from Mickey Hart. And then there was this process of passing sandbags to shore up some kind of ditch or riverbank. I didn't see it because it was a huge, long line. But there's a little misty rain coming. There's some pine trees over here, and I saw a little rainbow. You know, usually when you approach a rainbow, it keeps moving away from you. This one stayed still. It was right there in front of the pine tree. Like, I kept getting there, and pretty soon, it was literally around me. I was like, come on over, come on over. So people are rushing over to get into the rainbow. Where's the pot of gold? Where's the pot of gold? The secret is, we are the pot of gold. You are the pot of gold. Your spirit, your soul, your entity, your vibrancy, we all are the pot of gold. There's a few things I brought to share today because another event that happened while I was here back then was when Ann Fagan Ginger and Richard Chalicombe put together a Redwood Sequoia Congress. And I just want to have a shout out to Ann Ginger. Salute! Ann Ginger today, this past week, did pass away at 100 years old. And the Berkeley side, there's a little thing I'm going to read. Remembering Ann Fagan Ginger, 100, Oracle of Justice, who fought McCarthyism and championed human rights. For refusing to sign a loyalty oath, she was barred from practicing law and targeted by the FBI. Although later on, she did go to argue a case in front of the Supreme Court. She was very proud of that. She was a founder of Berkeley's Meiklejohn Civil Liberties Institute and she pioneered the field of peace law, defending Angela Davis, and wrote the resolution establishing Berkeley as a human rights city. Again, salute. So, let me just. So we had a Redwood School Congress, and this place was packed, you know. And David Brower sat over there and spoke a month before he passed. So if we can find the cassette tape of that day, that was his last public speech. Then we moved to a larger venue, Wheeler Auditorium, and Dennis Kucinich was here just before he announced his run for the presidency. He actually wanted to start a Department of Peace. Imagine that. And this is signed by Dennis Kucinich. And I can't remember exactly how this ended up in my hands, but I'm returning it to you all today. I also have the one of the things that Ann Ginger always reminded us of, that any body of people can petition the government for redress of grievances. You just get together and sign something. That's it. That's all you need to do. So this has lots of signatures, and this was sent to the United States government and to the United Nations, because they too want to know what you have to say. So we've got Shirley Dean, Chris Worthington, Artis DeLu, all these famous people, Angela Davis. I mean, there's really some interesting signatures on here. It also has their personal phone contacts, so I'm not quite ready to give that up. But and I see you all here today continuing to meet in this space Sunday after Sunday, getting through the pandemic, now in having this incredible sound system to put your word out to the world. I've always thought of this place on the corner of Cedar and Bonita as kind of a pair with KPFA. KPFA is the radio station. This is the fellowship hall. And you can have so many things happening here and inviting people. And I'm just really proud of you all for continuing the work that you're doing. So there are lessons we can learn from the stories that I shared. And each of those things has a piece where it's demonstrating elders, coordinating, and defending each of the rights in the First Amendment. We can continue to do so from right here in this space. Blessed be.
Thank you, Jeffrey. That was moving. I have only one thought to add, and that is, not only are we the pot of gold, we are also the rainbow. We gratefully acknowledge all who worked on this service today. Andy Jameson, who provides music with the choir, Jeffrey, and the AV person in the back, who I didn't even get a chance to meet. CJ, nice to meet you. Everybody in the Zoom room, all of you who are here today, thank you. And we have the people on Zoom with CJ.
Okay. On Zoom, we have Ben Birch, Bill Balderson, Charles Jinky and Mike Gardner, Luna Lynn, Marge Turngun, Mikey Songster, Negro Papa, Simone, and Serja Jessup.
Excellent. Wave, they're back there, you can wave to them. This service is streamed on Zoom every Sunday. It's also streamed on YouTube. We are very blessed in this area to have a number of opportunities like that, so take advantage of them. Check your order of service or the email newsletter for announcements. If you're not on the mailing list, you can go to bfuu.org to sign up, and I'll wager Jeffrey has an announcement.
That guy can read minds. Thank you, Phoebe, for coming up. And Virginia, if you'd like to come up now, too, it'd be great. Phoebe's going to give a couple announcements, and followed by Virginia. Thank you so much.
Such a pleasure to hear Jeff's reflections and have him back here after, well, you've been here in the meantime, but I feel like we can claim to have discovered Jeff decades ago. Yeah. And so the Redwood Sequoia Congresses were not organized just by Ann Fagan Ginger and Richard Chalicone, but it was the Social Justice Committee here, which continues the work. And they, Ann Fagan Ginger's influence on the Social Justice Committee also continues. So we usually meet on the third Sunday, but because next Sunday is our all-congregational meeting, the Social Justice Committee will instead meet on the fourth Sunday this month. The, what is that, the 26th. We'll meet after lunch, and everybody's welcome at our meetings. Big thanks to those of you who have come to our protest Sings for Justice and Peace that we did on University Avenue outdoors, and it's been a great joy, and we're going to go on hiatus during the rainy months, and so that will, but thanks especially to Marjorie Michaels, who was the primary force in making that happen. Yeah, she brought the idea to the Social Justice Committee, and we're like, yeah, let's go for it. So we did. Yes, thank you.
Good morning, BFUU. Good morning. I'm going to keep my remarks short, but they're very important, so I ask you to listen up. I'm here to speak to you on behalf of the nominating committee. I believe this is the most important committee at BFUU. That's why I've served on it for 12 plus years. I've been on the board, I've been president of the board, but I believe that this committee is the most important committee at BFUU. Why is that? I believe the board also, well, the original board also thought that because our bylaws have made it the only committee that is elected, not just volunteers. And we need a few more volunteers. I was thinking of why I enjoy this committee so much. I almost talked myself into continuing to serve, and I've already made up my mind that I'm not going further. We need new people. But the main job of this committee is choosing candidates to serve on the board. It is important that members of our board be people who get along with other people, people who have patience, people who really care, people who will stick with it and work through the issues and be respectful of one another. So it's not enough for you to just be brilliant. It's not enough for you to have just made many contributions. It's important that it be people who care and will stick with it, battle things through in loving ways. And it's the responsibility of the nominating committee to select nominees to run, candidates to run. Other people can serve, they can get elected, but they have to get a petition, and it's a little lengthy. And people generally trust the nominating committee enough that if you're a nominating committee nominee, you are elected. That is generally what happens. So they're counting on that committee to do its work, and I'm getting too long. We have a few openings. Please see me. We do not take you, we will not vote for you to be a nominee just because you say you're interested. We have to decide that you're a good person for the job. And your job goes along, the big job is getting to know the people. So you have to talk to people and care about them year long. That's informal, and this got long anyway. I'm gonna sit down, but please come and see me or call me or both. Thank you.
November 6th, Betsy Rose is going to have a concert here. It's a Thursday night. It's going to be wonderful, and there'll be other singers and songwriters. So mark that in your calendars. November 22nd, there's going to be wonderful music here. I had in my calendar that Emma's Revolution is going to be here. That's a Saturday night. But last night at a party, I heard that Pollyanna Bush is having another concert here. So I don't know if she's joined forces with Betsy Rose or if they got the date wrong last night.
Thank you all for those announcements. I actually served on the BFUU board, so I can also tell you they will waive the brilliant requirement. So that's good. Now is the time we share our responsibility for the home we are creating together. The shared plate partner this month, I believe, is the Poor People's Campaign. You can find the Poor People's Campaign online at thepoorpeoplescampaign.org. Please give generously to support BFUU and our shared plate partner, and Jeffery will play for us while we collect the things.
Well, they're passing the plate.
Passing the plate.
Passing the plate. So you might recognize this, Simon and Garfunkel, 59th Street Bridge. I invite you to sing along, hum along, tap your toes, get up and move around. Slow down, you're going too fast. Got to make the morning last now. Just kicking down the cobblestones, looking for fun and feeling groovy. Hello lamppost, what you knowin'? Came to watch your flowers growing. Ain't you got no rhymes for me? Doo doo doo, feeling groovy. Da 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 da, feeling groovy. Got no deeds to do, no promises to keep. I'm dappled and drowsy and ready for sleep. Let the morning time drop all its petals on me. Life, I love you, all is groovy. Da 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 da.
And now let us dedicate our gifts to the work of this fellowship, which is creating beloved community within and beyond these walls. We dedicate ourselves and these our offerings. The choir will now sing Lead with Love by Melanie DeMoore.
will lead us.
How many people know Lead with Love? Couple of people. This is kind of a new song then. So there's a couple of parts, but I think we'll just do this main part since it's kind of new for folks. How many people have met Melanie Demore? Wonderful, wonderful. I mean, just the amount of, just like peace warrior, like, that's the energy I get from her.
Yep.
Let's see. So, are you playing as well? Do you have music for us? Or you sing too? Okay, so we're doing a cappella?
Yeah.
Gosh, good to know. All right.
Okay.
You gotta put one foot in front of the other and lead with love. Put one foot in front of the other and lead with love. You gotta put one foot in front of the other and lead with love. Put one foot in front of the other and lead with love. Don't give up hope.
Don't give up hope.
You're not alone.
You're not alone.
Don't you give up.
Don't you give up.
Keep moving on.
Keep moving on.
You gotta put one foot in front of the other and lead with love. Put one foot in front of the other and lead with love. You gotta put one foot in front of the other and lead with love. Put one foot in front of the other and lead with love. Lift up your eyes.
Lift up your eyes.
Don't you despair.
Don't you despair.
Look up ahead.
Look up ahead.
The path is there.
The path is there.
You gotta put one foot in front of the other and lead with love. Put one foot in front of the other and lead with love. You gotta put one foot in front of the other and lead with love. Put one foot in front of the other and lead with love. I know you're scared.
I know you're scared.
And I'm scared too.
And I'm scared too.
But here I am.
But here I am.
Right next to you.
Right next to you.
You gotta put one foot in front of the other and lead with love. Put one foot in front of the other and lead with love. You gotta put one foot in front of the other and lead with love. Put one foot in front of the other and lead with love. One more time. Lead with love. Lead with love.
Thank you, Jeffrey and choir and all. Are there any folks here who are new to BFUU and would like to introduce themselves briefly? Some do, some do not. There's no requirement. But if you would like to, Jeffrey has a microphone, and you can.
Hey, it's a pleasure to be here. My name's Connor Hamdi. I'm here from the Church of Oakland. I just came by and to basically associate with some of the youth here in the Berkeley Fellowship. And well, young adults, I should say, and to kind of see and meet your community. I'm interested in all that you use in the Bay Area, and so it's a pleasure to be here with you. And so I would love to have that conversation and maybe facilitate young adult groups to communicate with each other. So I would love to do that, and thank you guys for having me here today.
Thank you, Connor. Thank you. Oh. I was about to move on, but I was moving on too fast. No, I wasn't. Yes, I am. No, I'm not. Chaos. Kirsten nailed it. Kirsten nailed it. Just chaos. Thank you. And by the way, my watch gave me a high heart rate warning a few minutes ago. I would appreciate it if you all would stop being quite so terrifying. Thank you to all who are with us today. In silence or in words, in person or in spirit, we will have more time to connect in the days to come. It is now time to extinguish the chalice. Please read with me the words in the order of service while I give Jeffrey a moment to get to the chalice. We extinguish the flame of this chalice, but not the warmth of love, the light of truth, or the energy of service. These we carry in our hearts until we meet again. Thank you for joining us today. After the service, you're welcome to stay and enjoy coffee and comestibles in the back. We're having a light lunch. For our final circle, please join hands and create a large circle in the fellowship hall as we sing hymn number 155, Circle Around for Freedom.
Happy birthday, dear Brett. Happy birthday, dear. And our benediction today is a poem from Rumi called Be Lost in the Call. Lord, said David, since you do not need us, why did you create these two worlds? Reality replied, a prisoner, oh prisoner of time, I was a secret treasure of kindness and generosity, and I wished this treasure to be known. So I created a mirror, its shining face, the heart, its darkened back, the world. The back would please you if you've never seen the face. Has anyone ever produced a mirror out of mud and straw? Yet clean away the mud and straw, and a mirror might be revealed. Until the juice ferments a while in the cask, it's not wine. If you wish your heart to be bright, you must do a little work. If you wish your heart to be bright, you must do a little work. Translated by Anne-Marie Schimmel.